Hi, and welcome to another episode of Glenn's Tech Corner. In this video, I'll show you how to work with the blur effects in Figma. Blur is a super cool feature and it's very easy to work with in Figma. We have two different options that I like to show. First of all, we can take a photo, we can add an effect, and tell it to be a layer blur. This will instantly, now it's very little, blur the photo. Very simple. We will see that when we have a border, it will not look sharp because it is doing it over all of the photo. Super simple. We may need to cut it with a mask if we want it to still look sharp and square and in a box, but we want the whole image to be blurred. But we also have another feature. Let me just put this into a frame, and then I'll add in a box, just any type of box. This box we can choose to say let's add an effect, and instead of a layer blur we'll make a background blur. At the moment we cannot see anything, but if I turn down the opacity of the box and turn off the blurriness, we can see that now this box is adding a blur to everything that's behind it, which of course works on our photo. But if I added some text here, at the moment it doesn't do it, but if I move it behind it, now it would also blur the text. So this is extremely good if we have a complex design and we want to blur a lot of elements or a part of an image or a part of a selection of elements. The important thing is here, if I turn this down to 0, then it doesn't do it. It needs to have some kind of fill because it will only do the blur where the filling is. But we could just have 1% of something if the main purpose is to blur and not to add an overlay color. And what we can also do is to add another effect to say that we want to have a drop shadow of a size, maybe very visible. We can have a light white background color. So we can still use this element to make some graphic choices or round corners if we want it to look like a pop-up overlay box that blurs the background and maybe has some text, maybe even written inside the box instead of blurred behind it. So these are the two different features we have, layer blur and background blur, which I think is super useful, and I also hope they can help you. Thank you so much for watching.